The Julian Washington case was a very interesting one in just the number of the problems. You know, quite often when I get involved with a case, there's one or two or maybe three very focused specific issues. But in Julian Washington's case, it was like pretty much at every turn, I was finding something that was conspicuously wrong in terms of the way that things had been done.
Dr. Crane reviewed the DNA evidence against Julian Washington, and he highlighted 8 problems.
One of the things that was really quite remarkable about the Julian Washington case, though, was what I described in my statements and as what I think it's simply understood as a suspect-centric interpretation. And what that means in somewhat simpler language is that the test results from the evidence sample in the case were interpreted by people who used Julian Washington's own reference DNA profile to determine what it is they were seeing in the evidence. It's like the opposite of blind testing. You know, what you want for a good objective test, for it to be scientific and objective, is you want the object to speak for itself. You want to be, and the voice of the object to be the same, regardless of who the suspect is that's being evaluated. And yet what was happening in Julian Washington's case is that on the one hand, they were holding up the test results and they're saying, gee, I'm not quite sure if there's DNA that says this or it says that. Oh, here, let's look to see what Julian Washington's DNA profile is. That will help us to determine if what we're seeing in the evidence is a signal or if it's an artifact or some other kind of noise. From a statistician's perspective, statisticians have all sorts of cool analogies. They would say that what was being done is the laboratory was painting a target around the arrow, right? And it's good imagery, right? You shoot an arrow at the side of a barn and then you come and you paint the bullseye around it and say, look at that, it's a perfect hit. Whereas we shouldn't be that impressed given the way that the target got applied to the barn.